The Public Protector's Office is celebrating its first clean audit in its 25-year history. The Public Protector says she remains focused on her mandate to protecting the public against the abuse of power by the powerful. The office has achieved 80% of its target. This achievement comes at a time when the Office of the Public Protector is facing fierce criticism. Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane joins us now to tell us more about this great achievement. Advocate Mkhwebane, good evening and thank you very much for your time tonight. The Office of the Public Protector, seen by many, and I'm sure this is what it is, a vehicle for enforcing administrative justice, good governance and accountability. How important is achieving a clean audit for the Office of the Public Protector?
That is very much important for us, and good evening to your viewers and listeners. As the institution, first time in the history of the office, this year we are celebrating 25 years of the establishment of the office, and a cherry on top is for us to achieve a clean audit. And as an office, we would want to lead by example. I remember when I joined as the Public Protector in 2016, that was one of the requirements from the Portfolio Committee on Justice and Correctional Services, that we expect you as the Public Protector to lead by example. And I'm glad that today we are celebrating a clean audit, and would want to keep that clean audit going forward.
Yeah, quite interesting that both yourself, the Office of the Public Protector, and the Office of the Auditor General are oversight bodies, and therefore quite important, I suppose, that your books are credible, because this does certainly impact on good governance. Talk to me about your views on the auditing process and how it is that you manage to pick up and arrest many of the risks that lead to problems uncovered by the Auditor General.
You know, what happened is that as the head of the institution, or as the executive authority, I made sure that I assist the accounting officer, which is the CEO of the institution. By saying assisting the accounting officer is that always being available when needed, and also listening to the advices from the Auditor General, because I met with the Auditor General's team several times, and I also said to them, can you make sure that you guide us so that we can comply to the requirements? Because the main thing is to be responsive. The main thing is to give them all the evidence which they need, and on time which they need, so that they can be able to audit our books. And I must also indicate that one of the greatest things which we achieved as an institution, and through the advice of the Portfolio Committee as well, was to having our own internal auditors. And they helped the institution a lot, because they are the ones who were picking up the mistakes along the way, and we were correcting those mistakes. And when the auditors visited and audit our books, then everything was in order. I think it's very critical as an institution, like a Chapter 9 institution or the Public Protector, which investigates maladministration, which includes undue delay, issues of abuse of state resources, to not be found wanting, but also to comply to the relevant prescripts, which we are also being audited by the Auditor General. We will also have to comply to the relevant prescripts, like your PFMA, or that is the expectation which the institution must also meet, and so that South Africans can see, or even public servants can see, that it is possible to achieve a clean audit as long as you comply to the relevant prescripts.
Let's talk about that. 25 years is a very long time, Advocate, so I'm not going to pretend like I read all the Public Protector reports, of the previous years. But I certainly did pick up one or two of them around 2010, right up until 2013 or so. One of the issues that comes up, for example, is what you're mentioning now, issues around supply chain management. The previous report indicating that the Office of the Public Protector was not handling that properly. In fact, this was hampering on competitive practices, not allowing entrepreneurs to compete fairly. But there was also the issue of obscene pricing. What did your systems investigation reveal, and how did you adjust to that?
As far as the auditing process is concerned, hence I said that the first thing also was to appoint the executive officer, the chief executive officer, and also have the permanent chief financial officer, whose experience also where she was working, she managed to assist those institutions to achieve a clean audit. Also having the internal auditors, as I said, but then what is also critical was that they had to put in or they had to develop a strategy, the clean audit strategy, and comply to that particular clean audit strategy. And everything which were raised by the auditors in the previous years, they had to make sure that they have an action plan and monthly assess their progress in making sure that they achieve those audit findings, or they rectify those audit findings. And by doing that, also establishing a committee which will deal with issues of financial misconduct, especially where you'd find that there's issues of irregular expenditure or wasteful expenditure. So I must indicate that all the credit goes to the accounting officer of the institution, her team, especially in finance and in supply chain management. But also, as far as the performance is concerned, 80% also includes a core of the core of the organization, which is investigations.
Yeah.
Also, they've improved a lot in their performance. And also they've made sure, especially the provincial public protectors or provincial offices, because they are responsible for investigations, but they also have to account for the records, the file records, and they must be kept up to date, and the statistics, which is all what we've been audited on, but also on our finances to make sure that we also pay the suppliers on time within 30 days. And I must indicate that for this financial year or this year where we received a clean audit, they were paid within 9 days, which is the best ever, because you'd find that a lot of small businesses are impacted by state institutions delaying to pay for the services rendered, hence the 30 days. But we made sure that we do that even lesser than 30 days.
Yeah. Now, Public Protector, this is not an ambush, so I'm going to put the question straight to you. You have a liberty to answer it or not answer it. You are celebrating this clean audit under the cloud of perjury case being opened against you. Are you worried at all and concerned about that?
I think better for me not to answer that. We will still consulting with my attorneys, and we will deal with the matter when the time is right.
All right, I respect that. Let's talk then about the issues that would be raised around capacity gaps. I know you've mentioned how your investigators have performed. What did you do previously? As I mentioned, 2010, 2011, 2012, the issues that were flagged were around the capacity as far as investigation is concerned in terms of skills and experience. What did you do to beef up that department?
You know, not having the resources, our budget being cut throughout these years. And I must indicate also that I should have given credit to the Department of Justice, because in the past, they've also assisted the institution with some funds where we were regarded as as an institution which might also be declared insolvent. And they came to our rescue. And that was as a result of Treasury cutting our budget regularly. And I must indicate that even now, our budget has been reduced by 16 million for this financial year. and it's on the issues of compensation of employees. But what we do is that working with the DPP as well, assisting the investigators to also then be innovative in their investigations. But also what has assisted is that we have now managed to make sure that all the matters which relates to service delivery, your home affairs, your government pension fund, your city of Tshwane, or those individual complaints, we cluster them and we refer them back to the Department of Home Affairs or the city of Tshwane or even JIPA, where they have internal complaints mechanisms which they can deal with those complaints, or our numbers will be reduced drastically so that we can then focus on complicated matters or on systemic matters. So that will help, or it's like being innovative, because we could see that if our budget is reduced by 16 million, then we have challenges of employing more investigators, and that's our core. Unfortunately, also that goes against the national development plan of the country or the policy of the country, especially Chapter 14, which focuses on issues of good governance and the issues of dealing with corruption. And that has an impact on the reduction of our budget, has an impact on us as well, making sure that we assist government to deal with the scourge of corruption.
Appreciate your time, Advocate Busiwe Mkhwebane. Thank you very much for joining us tonight on the Newsfeed Late Night. That is the public protector there, celebrating a clean audit, first of its kind for her office in the last 25 years. Now,